I went first. I was hoping that you would match what I was doing.
I just know the different song.
Okay, look. I'll let you go first next time. I know that you needed to go first. I'm not sure. I can ad lib.
No. Hey, look, I told you to press. Hey,
no, this is why.
It's all good. No, we're gonna be on the same. We just communicating so we can be on the same page. But next time, we can be in the same.
Now where that though?
What?
You out here?
We love layers.
That's all. But he ended up. What up? You know what I'm saying?
We gotta get people to watch first. We gotta what up to somebody.
Trying to share.
Y'all wasn't ready.
Trying to share the episode.
No, we don't have no people ready. That's all.
No.
Ain't no gotta share it before we even start the show.
We need the link though.
Nah, you can just share the whole channel.
Make me happy.
Shut
Make me feel this way.
Shut up.
Don't care.
Ain't nobody.
You don't care.
See, that was for y'all.
I do what I can.
But it's okay next time.
Yeah, next time I got you, dog. I swear. I promise.
Can I get a size 13 B-Nod?
What?
Can I get a size 13 B-Nod?
It's
What?
17.
I can't do
What?
17 because I can never be a 17. Let me just 13.
Oh, you trying to make it realistic? My bad. I thought you was quoting the bar. I thought you was doing the bar.
I had to adjust it a little bit because I mean, come on now, me 17.
Wow, it's crazy.
You gotta sell it. That was the point.
Good evening
of that whole
ladies
delivery.
and
He was
gentlemen.
tall. He could sell it.
The crew is
I can't
here once
sell
again
at
on Thursday
5'7",
night
being
to
a size
preview
17.
Week 11.
You know,
It is week 11.
Not with that attitude, you can't.
Week 11. Oh, go ahead. My bad.
What up?
Yeah.
Welcome into Outspoken Thursday Night Football Countdown. We got Bengals at Ravens, AFC North Showdown. It's going to be a good one. We're going to get into all of that, but
I feel like the NFL owes us this after having us go through Panthers and Bears last week. That was just,
you know. And then the week before,
This is a great week.
it was Bills Bucks. Like it's
right.
Bills Bucks wasn't bad.
All this ugly football.
It's ugly.
How dare you, NFL?
Bills Bucks wasn't bad. Don't let her. NFL don't fall for it.
I'm appalled.
Bills Bucks was good.
I'm appalled.
Now last week was ugly. I cannot deny.
What is your definition of good? On a scale of 1 to 10, what is good?
It was two good teams.
Again, on a scale of 1 to 10.
They were above
we're talking about the play of the good.
Well, how's the NFL supposed to know how they go and play?
Here you go.
The NFL knows how the Panthers and Bears going to play.
No, that's one. I give you that.
They knew that.
They knew how the Bears Commanders was going to look
I thought
too.
that was a good one.
Actually, no. None of us.
It was very
none of us thought Bears Commanders was going to put up 60 points. That was pretty entertaining.
I mean, yeah, it was.
Sorry, I'm
Entertaining
sorry.
for homes.
I'm sorry.
Well, not for you.
I'm sorry.
It was entertaining for the
I'm
general
sorry.
body.
I'm sorry.
Was it?
I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it.
Was it?
Yeah.
Because I feel like most of the people
I didn't mean
was
to bring it
Googling, oh, who is this running back running all over the Commanders?
Nah,
That's what they
was
doing.
more Googling like, how many times Justin Fields threw for 4 touchdowns?
No, they all
No?
knew. Yeah, they all knew
Damn.
DJ Moore. They all
See,
knew
I don't
DJ
want to talk
Moore.
about this anymore.
Yeah.
It's not important. We're not
All
talking
right.
about the Durs.
We're
What
gonna
we talking about, Cordell?
We're gonna see the Niners on Thursday Night Football.
Thank you, Cordell. That's me.
That's
I'm
him.
Cordell.
I'm Marcus.
You right.
Hey, Rob.
I'm Deuce. What's good? I hope y'all having a blessed Thursday. Taco
All right.
Thursday, Tape Thursday.
Taco Thursday.
However you want
That's
to
never
Whoa.
been.
use your
That's
alliteration.
never
Okay,
been
you
a
just-
thing. That's
You
never
just
been a
messed that
thing.
up, man. Taco-
It's Taco Thursday at work. I don't know what you want me to tell you.
Nah, man.
There's
That's
only-
not how we do it.
That's how they do it at
not how they
Flick.
do it.
That's what we
Okay.
had for
All right.
lunch today. It was
Go
Taco.
ahead.
So
Taco.
anyway,
Thank you.
It's
Two-
Pasta Tuesday,
two-
Taco Thursday.
To what's important.
This guy
Food is
here.
very important, sir.
Yeah,
Today,
it says
we're
the
gonna-
greediest one on the.
Greedy
No,
is
they
aggressive.
never-
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Every
I say,
episode.
bro, because I want to eat at the
Every
proper time.
episode.
I don't
Like,
even be
at
eating
this
when I'm not
point,
supposed
you
to
might
be
as well
eating.
just say, make it a segment.
I'm not eating right
Basically,
now.
I'm just taking,
I
putting it in
mean,
the
I could have snacked during the
We're gonna have to
episode.
start like 10 minutes earlier just so that we can get this done.
Well, we could, but somebody was.
What?
all right. So
Go ahead.
See, he's just busting shots. That's all it is.
I'm saying, that's all right.
It's all good. He happy he has a new team. That's where he's at. He's in a good
yeah.
spirit.
I've always had a good team. What are you talking about?
all right.
Continue, Cordell.
Thank you. So
All right, Desmond Ritter.
we're gonna do things a little differently today. So again, thank you guys for watching. Please like,
Yes, he's on the
subscribe, and
bench.
share. So today we are going to focus in on what the title of this video says: State of the Franchise.
State of the franchise.
So we're going to go ahead in rotation and talk about a franchise in particular that we want to talk about, whether it's in season to postseason, as in the season's over,
Wow.
but not as far as into like draft picks.
For these teams, the season is over.
So,
Well, come on. Let's calm down. Take it easy.
For my two teams,
all right.
yeah,
So
the season ain't going nowhere.
we
Yeah, no.
Would you like to start us off?
Sure.
Mm.
Sure.
Right.
I'm going to
Who do you
start
wanna
off
hit on?
the state of the franchise with the New York Football Giants. Man, do they have some questions that are just piling up by the week. And this offseason for them is going to be a very interesting one. We saw what Daniel Jones got last year in terms of a contract extension, got 4 years, $160 million. He's out for the year now with an injury. And even prior to that injury, was not playing up to a $160 million quarterback. He was bad. He was bad. Not only that, same offseason, they kind of sort of gave Saquon a 1-year hush money deal. And his season has been filled with injury as well. So that question is facing for them in the offseason. This is a team that has the number 2 overall pick as of right now in the draft order. They got a lot of things ahead of them to answer for this upcoming offseason going into 2024. The Giants are a team that last year they surprised everyone by making the playoffs, and they just look they were out of the playoff hunt in week 1. You get blasted 40 to nothing at home on Monday Night Football. Like that's it.
And nobody saw that.
The season is about done at that point. But yeah,
It's definitely cooked.
Yeah,
definitely
absolutely.
But they should have lost to the Cardinals.
Yeah, they should have. But they have a lot of things that they are having to address in the upcoming offseason. It's going to be interesting to see where they go with a lot of those things.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like
See, this one's weighing on heavy on your shoulders. Why?
I mean, I felt like people should have assumed at least that the Giants are going to take a step back, because what they did last season was
they overachieved.
A lot of
overachieved,
especially in Brian Daboll's first year. Like you go to
lucky
the
the Commanders
playoffs,
was buns.
you get a playoff win.
It was a fluke
against at the Vikings.
It was a fluky season,
and then all of a sudden it's
Absolutely.
like now it's like one of the worst teams
one of the worst teams
in the NFL, and we all knew that there was always questions about like skill position on offense. Like other than Saquon, who did you really have? Because some people believe in Daniel Jones, but I feel like not a lot of people believe in Daniel Jones.
I didn't think they would be bad, but I didn't think they would be 2-8.
Yes. And then so
horrific.
the thing is, it's like at this point, it's like, okay, well, was it the defense? Well, the defense to me has been about the same as it was last season.
Yeah.
But I think the biggest thing was offensively. Daniel Jones last year, 15 touchdowns, 5 picks. Turnovers was at a minimum. The run game was heavy with Saquon, and they were able to have him healthy for most of the year. Now all of a sudden, Daniel Jones throwing way more interceptions than touchdowns, having the fumbles. Saquon's not playing as good because he's also been injured. And wide receiver core was never really good to begin with. Darren Waller hasn't been acclimated as good as we thought he could have. So it's just been a whole hurricane of mess.
A mess.
So it's a full rebuild. Do I think Daboll should lose his job? No, but changes got to come in the offseason. That's for sure.
Sure.
I mean, were we really that confident with them last year in terms of how their production looked? They was -6 in terms of point differential last year when they made the playoffs. And their second highest output for the season came in the playoffs against the Vikings when they put up 31. They was in the teens more often than in the 20s the season before.
It was just all basically just no turnover. So they just was able to play those close games.
And it's crazy how we hop on, I guess, when who was talking? Was it Booger that was talking about Dak and how we were hounding him when he had a lot of turnovers for one season and all of his other seasons he been solid. We were talking about Geno, how he had his one season and now he's kind of returned to earth a little bit. And we be real quick to hop on these teams. Jaguars, another one. We was ready for them to have their growth. I'm sorry. My bad.
Yeah,
I know it take a little time with you. You do a good job.
Hey, look.
Because a lot
He
of
still
times
had
they
to win
prove
the
us wrong.
division, though.
Huh?
He still had to win
I
the
did
division.
because I didn't believe in Purdy.
What do you mean?
We be real quick to jump on these franchises.
So I had to choose. So I just
call?
went ahead and chose them. But I didn't believe in Purdy.
But this is the Jaguars.
Who's your guy?
Oh, I thought you were talking about Seattle.
No. He said the Jaguars. That's why I was like,
Oh, no. Because I had Seattle.
attacking.
Oh,
we're not
okay,
even
no,
talking
I meant
about
the
the
Jaguars.
Niners.
I was
We're
like,
just
nah.
attacking
something
He's
to
a
say.
Falcons
I
fan.
got
Don't let him
I am
fool you.
what?
Anyways, continue.
What?
You've been watching us all year. We appreciate your support.
What?
Go and like and subscribe. You know what I'm saying? Click the thumb, the
Don't
heart,
you
whatever.
dare
it be.
disrespect me like that ever again.
Nah, this man right cheer. His heart and soul.
Bay Area.
He ain't never been there. This is the first time he probably said that.
Yeah, I'm about to
How
say,
we
bro.
get here?
Oh, probably me. Yeah, that's my fault. Anyway, my team is the Titans.
Wait,
Bro,
we not even there yet.
Bro,
I thought we was done with the Giants. Clearly, we
Hey,
was on the
I
Bay.
didn't
we
even
didn't even
go.
talk about the Giants
I
yet.
said a word yet.
Oh.
Y'all just be skipping.
My bad.
Y'all just don't give a damn about this man. I'm
well,
talking. Y'all be talking over.
I look forward to
skipping
y'all
them. Hey, bro, I'm
drafting a
sorry, bro. Let's
quarterback.
get you over there.
Go ahead, host man. I'm so sorry. You right. My bad. Do your job.
All right, so
Yep.
I agree. The Giants, like,
skip.
I didn't think that
Skill.
anybody should have thought anything. I thought originally, before they made the signing for Daniel, I thought that they were going down the same path that the Bills went. Dayball and Joe Shane both coming over from Buffalo. It was like, okay, the first year you shipped off some people who had bad contracts. You made it to the playoffs and you weren't supposed to.
Mm-hmm.
Very similar. And I was like, okay, now in this draft, go get your quarterback. And that was where the two split, because the Bills said, all right, Tyrod, we're going to go get Josh. And they should have said, all right, Daniel, but they kept him. And now
we got our quarterback.
Yeah.
That's what they said.
That's what they said. And the joke's on you. You don't have your quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
And
They got it.
there's no way, because they can franchise Saquon again, right? But if they franchise Saquon again, and y'all already know he's going to play because clearly he don't know how to stand up, he'll sign. He'll complain,
There's no need for that.
but he'll sign.
That was very disrespectful.
Oh, I was
He
talking
don't
about.
know how to stand up.
I was talking about the disrespect on the Giants if they franchise him again.
Oh wow!
That
Oh, I was
that
talking
was
about the
disrespect.
disrespect of
Saquon.
Saquon. Jesus.
Nah, Saquon deserves
Both
this
of you.
right now. He had his chance to stand with the
It
people.
was literally like within a
And
week.
he did.
Yeah, I will say,
That
yeah.
little moment.
So
They had a whole meeting, running back meeting, and all of a sudden, a few
Within the
days
week.
later, he
Yeah.
said, "You know what?
I'm gonna get my money.
Yeah.
Y'all on y'all own.
Hey,
bro.
look, only got $1 more million."
Right. That's all he did.
That's one more million I have.
That's all he did.
I'm definitely of the mindset that they can't franchise him.
Knock him for
Because
that.
if you franchise him again, you basically should just sign him.
Just
The amount of money that you're gonna have to pay for that second franchise tag is just sign him to that contract then.
plus
and give
he
him a longer
plus
term
he's
deal.
on a he doesn't have to sign that tag.
No, he doesn't. He can hold
No.
out. Yeah.
He can also always hold out.
But as I said, he's not gonna do that.
Yeah.
He'll hold out until September, and then 1 week before, as we saw, all right, guys, let's go ahead. So clearly, the amount of money he's paying him isn't worth practicing, isn't worth the offseason. It's worth the regular season, but it ain't worth him showing up to work in the offseason. But yeah, no, I think they definitely they have to go out, and I don't know what you do with Daniel Jones because you can't trade him. So it's either you continue to rock with it or you get a young kid and you put him on the bench, and then you just have your $40 million per year quarterback sitting on the bench.
Well,
I mean, that's ugly to me, but
I think what they'll probably do is
they can get out after next year.
Yeah,
So,
I think they'll get a guy, but it'll be two things. They'll either get a guy now, and you can have the guy. To be honest, you can have him sit for a little bit just to get acclimated to the NFL, and then play. And then it'll be like Daniel Jones messing up again. Okay, put in the rookie, and then that's it. Or what you could do is a pick that they do have. If they don't have a quarterback that they like by the time they get the pick, honestly, what they could do is just keep building around the offense, get some weapons, and then Daniel Jones does what he does. But then that next year we can get rid of him. Go ahead, get rid of him, but probably have a bad record again, and then get your quarterback.
So it stands as of now, they have a first, 2 seconds, and a third early on in the draft. So
So it's doable.
they have some picks. But
you are in a rush to get to your team. So go ahead.
I was trying to jump in. That was my bad. We just reset. It's all good. You get two.
Go ahead.
The Titans are my team,
right,
who I'm electing to speak on because their situation I'm not excited if I was a Titans fan. Your offense has been bottom 5 in terms of yards in the last 2 years. Derrick Henry is getting no younger. You have no answer at quarterback. Mike Vrabel's been there for the last, I think this is his 6th season. He made the playoffs 3 out of the 5 times. Hasn't made it past the divisional round. Where do you go? How soon? I feel like them missing the opportunity to get some draft capital for Derrick Henry was a mistake. Because if they're going to have him as their centerpiece, as a 29-year-old running back with no quarterback, DeAndre's not getting no younger. Treylon has had injury issues. So in terms of weaponry, what are we working with? Okonkwo, Hopkins, Burks, it's Spears. Maybe Tajay Spears becomes that guy. There's not really a splash on offense. And when their defense isn't playing in the top 10, as it was a few years ago when they had the number 1 seed, you're going to be 3-6 like they are now. So I don't know where they go from here. I don't know how long Vrabel lasts, but they are somebody who in the next couple years will probably be fighting for a number 1 pick with the way this is trending.
I feel like they're a team that is definitely stuck. Like there's not a whole lot they can do as an organization going forward. Now, I'm not quite sure how much money they will have next offseason, and if even if they have a decent amount, are they going to be buyers? Are they going to be heavy buyers? Or have they even really been that type of organization that will go out and just splurge in free agency anyway? I do agree with you that not trading Derrick Henry this trade deadline was a head scratcher a little bit, and you kind of sort of, well, if you're keeping them, then you're obviously keeping them to win football games and push forward with them, right? Because it wouldn't make a whole lot of sense to not trade them, and then when the offseason comes, it's like now you want to put them out there. It's like, well, you probably had a better opportunity when, in season.
Teams actually needed them.
Now you're going to see teams that are like, yeah, I can trade for Derrick Henry, but I can also stay put right here and get a Jahmyr Gibbs at some point. You see,
they're more likely to get pimped for their services.
Right. So it's one of those things that as an organization, they're kind of sort of stuck as far as what they can do going forward. I do like Vrabel as a coach. I think he is one of the better all-around coaches in the league. I just think right now their situation as far as the state of the franchise, the current state of the franchise, and the future state of the franchise is a little cloudy to me.
Yeah, I mean, I do actually like what I've seen from Will Levis so far. He's actually played in the games that he started. He's actually played better than I thought he would. So I don't think quarterback-wise they're in a bad spot, because even without Will Levis, they still have Malik Willis, who could be serviceable as well. So quarterback, like, I'm fine with where they are, because, rookie quarterbacks and like first-year pros, they're not always going to be coming out the gates swinging. Like, it's just not happen. It doesn't happen a lot. And the times that we do see it happen, I feel like people feel like that's the norm, and I just don't think so. I think keeping Derrick Henry, the only way that I feel like it's viable is if they're like, hey, like, he's still our running back for the next 2-3 years.
Mm-hmm.
If that's the case, then cool. Like, I'm cool with that, because we know he can still get you 1,000 yards every season.
He has to be a building block.
But that's the thing. I think their offense is still predicated on that, is having him being the lead back, especially when it's still a football game, and not when they're like down by 2-3 touchdowns. Then it's a different ball game.
Mm-hmm.
But I think they're still fine with him. Obviously, you have D-Hop, and how much can D-Hop last? Like, is he got to still be a guy that will be a good contributor? So I feel like if they have an off season with him and Levis, like, can they make that relationship work and be successful, along with Treylon Burks being your number 2 guy? And maybe they draft a 3rd guy, and it's like, now you try and build up this receiving core to be better.
I'm not that confident in Levis yet.
I was getting ready to say I do think
but go ahead.
Yeah, but he's made some good throws, and he's performed.
He had 4 touchdowns that first game, scored 28 points. In the last 2 games, he scored 22 points and had 0 touchdowns, 2 picks. 1 game less than 200 yards.
I will say I do think the injury history of Treylon Burks has definitely wrecked their plans a little bit. It's definitely hurt
them. Yeah.
Xavier disagrees with you guys. I think that they need to hold on to Henry to protect Levis.
No. I'm not questioning that. I'm just saying if you're going to hold on to him, given what the salary that he has, given the type of back that he is, he's going to have to be, or he's going to at least want to be a high volume guy. He's going to have to be a certain. I mean, he may not actually be the building block. Levis may be the building block, but you're still going to have to squeeze some usage out of him. You can't. To me, I don't feel like.
I mean, still on pace for 1,000.
Well, yeah, but you can't. He can't start going to be a 12 carry a game guy. Like he's going to have to get.
I see Xavier's point though. I'm not trying to stunt Will Levis's growth. It will be easier for him if he at least has someone dependable in the run game.
He's going to need that.
Defenses will have to focus.
He's going to need that. So, defenses are definitely going to have to focus on.
No matter, unless Derrick Henry just falls off a cliff, guys are going to still be like, hey, let's make sure we stop this guy because we've seen what he can do when he's running down.
Because to me, it can look like, and it's not the offense situation, but it's kind of sort of like the scenario. Same scenario is played out for the Cowboys, where you knew Zeke was a short yardage guy that he cannot necessarily be the bell cow, and you knew that you got your guy that you want to be the bell cow in Pollard, right? So it's a situation where you're going to say, do we just keep him around? Do we keep the more expensive back around just so he can be a minimal care, so he can eventually give way to the guy behind him? I want them to avoid that situation.
Well, the one thing with Pollard is we saw he's not a good every down guy.
I get that, but that may not stop the Titans from looking at him and saying, you know what, we want Tajay to be more of the bell guy.
I would be okay if they did it like how they did the Cowboys did last year. Was Zeke got the tough yards, and then Pollard would get, be more fresh at the end of games to where he's breaking off more runs and he's averaging 5 yards a carry. But in Derrick Henry, to me, he's going to always average 4 yards a carry at the least. So you get that plus a Tajay Spears that you can hand it off to when the defenses are worn down. Like that will be a viable option to do. I think the one thing that's been the Titans' downfall this season, obviously, the offense hasn't been as good, but the defenses used to be stout. Now they've kind of, simmered off of that. And I think if they can get back to that, which was their bread and butter, and one of the reasons why they were, one of the top teams in the AFC for a few years, that would be the thing that could get them back to that, is rebuilding that defense.
Final notes by Xavier says they should build on the O-line.
They definitely need to do that.
He says they still have a pretty competent defense, and he believes, not to go too far into, but he believes that Bauer is a good candidate to go there. It says they can rely on Spears they can't rely on Spears.
No, Brock Bowers. He's saying that Brock Bowers
is a good candidate to go to the Titans. Yeah, he's saying that you can't rely on Spears with his injury history and mileage.
The only thing with that is I don't think their pass defense is good. Offensive line for sure, because that was the bread and butter that they had that helped with Henry when people knew that they were running the ball 25, 30 times a game. So, and Taylor Lewan definitely. It hasn't been the same. It hasn't been the same
since he's been there.
So. All right. Who you got, my man?
Yep. So, I got the Chicago Bears. I think Justin Fields' time, this is his last year. I think they should trade him. And to be honest, though, I only think that they should. I think they should trade him, not because I don't think he can be good, but I think that you need a new regime. And the new regime is going to come, and you don't want Justin Fields on his third head coach, third offensive coordinator, in the same franchise. I feel like he just needs a new start somewhere else. They can go ahead. They're going to have 2 of the top 5 picks because they have their pick and they have the Panthers pick, and both of them suck. So they're going to have 2 top 5 picks. You get your quarterback, whoever that is, probably Caleb Williams if you have the first pick. And then you go ahead and probably add a receiver to match up with DJ Moore, or you get, someone on defense. They already got the pass rusher from the Commanders and Montez Sweat. Go ahead and you try and build more off of that if you wanted to, with another pass rusher to have a dynamic duo, or maybe you get a corner to go with Jalen Johnson. By the end of the day, they just need to find some other matching piece to go with what they have.
I don't know if they go that Jalen Johnson route. I think they're they're going to let him walk. But
I don't think so. I think if they get a complimentary guy to be on the other side, I think he'll stay. Because he's only in year 3.
I think what's interesting with the Bears is normally you see teams like this, they're in a situation where they don't have a franchise guy at quarterback, or they don't have anything you can build around a quarterback. And I know you guys have probably heard me say this plenty of times before. I believe in Justin Fields. I think Justin Fields was dealt a bad hand in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the overall record, the numbers, I think those don't tell the necessary story when you're out here trying to win games with, Darnell Mooney and very little of a answer in the run game behind you. And then your offensive line is inconsistent. Your offensive line has also dealt with injuries over the past couple of years as well. So I feel like they have a foundational piece in Fields. Now, if they want to move on from Fields and get their guy, then so be it. And that very well could happen. Bless you. That very well could happen, because this is the organization. This is a tenure that did not draft Justin Fields.
Mm-hmm.
They inherited Justin Fields.
Which I thought was just super crazy, because you have a guy in Matt Nagy that drafts Justin Fields.
Mm-hmm.
You have him for 1 year,
mm-hmm.
you fire Nagy, you bring in Eberflus, and all of a sudden now you're about to fire Eberflus, and it's just like, well, now you're going to be on your 3rd head coach, and his rookie contract isn't even over yet.
It's not even over yet.
So it's like, it just, and when it comes to coaches, like, they want their guy.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like it is better for everybody to just have a clean slate.
Right.
So then it's like, okay, this coach is paired with this quarterback.
Yeah.
Let's see how that goes.
I will say this is probably going to be the most important offseason in recent history for the Bears. They're going to have, right now, they're in line for the number 1 overall pick. Because they have cap space. Because they have the Packers. I mean, not the Packers. They have the Panthers pick. They're also going to have like 80-some million in cap space. So they're going to have the number 1 overall pick and
a top 5 pick.
Another top 5 pick, along with $80+ million. And you already have the edge rusher that you believe in. He's already tied up. You already got him out of the way.
Yep.
Your quarterback that you could potentially build around is on a cheap rookie deal right now. You don't even have to pay him. Man, the
only other person, like DJ Moore, is on a wide receiver friendly contract.
Right.
Like,
real quick, if you're watching, if you could just let me know if the video is freezing on your guys' end, please and thank you.
Why?
It's freezing on me.
It's freezing on you.
But I don't know if it's just my computer being stupid. So I just want to know if it's freezing for you guys. Let me know so that we can make those corrections, because obviously we want this to be easily digested and don't want you guys missing out on anything that we're saying, so you can be more involved in the conversation.
Good job, Postman.
Also, with that being said, me and Xavier are on the same page with this one. Before I even got a chance to say my take, Xavier, I'd go word for word with him on this one. He said it would be best for the Bears to keep Justin. They would have to learn if he's the guy in the next 7 weeks. Yep. Trade one of those top 5 picks to pick up more high-end talent, and use it on a tackle and et cetera, which is the route that I would go. Is I would keep Justin. I have 2 top 5 picks. I can easily trade one and get out, pick up more picks, so I can continue to build this team up properly. That's the route that I would personally.
Because here's the bad thing about that though, is if you don't, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna still keep Eberflus as the head coach?
I don't need to keep him as my head coach.
Okay. So this is what I'm saying.
Justice.
So if you bring in a head coach,
So how do you know that new
if
coach
they
is not
don't
going to want to go?
succeed,
See,
no. Because here's the thing, though, they're gonna be like, look, they're gonna be like, I want my quarterback because they're gonna be like, I don't want you.
Yes, I know all
fire.
this, but I don't. To me, that's always so stupid. It's so stupid.
But it's your job.
But it's
job.
not only
to me as the owner, I'm gonna get somebody who wants my quarterback. I'm not starting this over again. Who wants to come here and be the coach for this team with this quarterback?
Right.
That's how I would go.
That's fair because because we everyone wants to say, hey, get a new coach and go in a certain direction or whatever, but not every coach his vision is always aligned with what you want to do as a fan or what you would want to see your team do. Because that new coach can come in and say, hey, you know what? I want more of a pocket passer. I want to build an offense that's more predicated with having 4 receiver sets and not 2 tight end sets, not having a guy like Cole. I want to lead back. I don't want to stable a back. Like that coach can come in and say, all this that y'all have right here, I don't want it.
But at the same time, we still have questions about Justin Fields that we'll have the answers to probably by the end of the season.
I think they
kind of. But even so, they only have 2 receivers and Cole Kmet who have more than like 80 yards receiving this year.
Yeah.
Like they don't have no splash on their offense.
And we know that there's some wide receivers coming in this draft that they have an opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
They can use their first pick. I'm not trying to go too deep, but we've been talking about Marvin Harris
right there,
and he's easily within reach for where they are right now in the top 5 if they wanted to do that. But if not, and they wanted to go a different route, and they could, like I said, trade back and then use that
go
pick
get
that
a
they trade back and get
Romo Doom, somebody like that.
I can't.
But and I don't know. Like I said, there's so many ways that they can actually develop this team properly. I think they have a okay foundation right now, and they have an opportunity to kind of, if they hit like the Jets hit and turn this thing around, like that would, and that conference is wide open. Like I know that the Lions are taking it right now, but the Lions aren't a juggernaut who's been owning this conference for forever. Like it is open next year for anybody to come in.
The division.
I mean, but
the division. The division.
I can't wait until we have that conversation as far as what team would even look to trade up to one of their top 5 picks. Yeah, I can't wait till we dive into that conversation because that's going to be interesting.
I think it would be different if you were talking about a regular draft class where it's just like the number 1 pick isn't set in stone.
Mm-hmm.
But with Caleb Williams, I feel like everybody's on this consensus that he's the next best great quarterback, right?
They say that about every number 1 pick.
No, they don't. They didn't say Baker Mayfield was going to be the next greatest quarterback.
That was also a surprise.
They said that same thing about Kyler.
But nobody in that class.
They said that about Kyler. They said that about Trevor.
I don't think they said that about Kyler.
Nah, I don't think they said that about.
They said that about Trevor.
They said it about Trevor, but Trevor has had that label since his freshman year, just like Caleb Williams had that since his freshman year. Just like Andrew Luck had it since his freshman year. They was like, he's gonna be the next great guy.
And now you got young Manning. He's that guy. He's gonna be the next one.
Young Arch.
Yeah, supposedly, but I don't think he's
Arch.
I wouldn't put that on him
Just
because he has the Manning name doesn't mean he's gonna be.
Well, actually, he's getting scouted like that. But I digress. I didn't want
to. But regardless, I feel like it's gonna be one of those things, and this is where people's jobs come into play, where it's like, would the GM, like Ryan Poles, I think it is, it's like, would he rather say, hey, we're going to stick with Justin? I don't think he was the one that even drafted him either. No. But we're going to stick with Justin, someone that I didn't draft. So I'm putting my job on the line.
Wasn't
that if he doesn't
Pace? Wasn't that Ryan Pace?
I think it was Pace. So it's like, if his job was on the line for somebody that he didn't draft. I think people in management would rather have it to where it's like, they're putting their job on the line for people that they
on their guy,
rather than someone else's guy. Because if it doesn't work out, they would be like, "Oh, well, it was."
That's why, to me, I'm sitting here and I'm saying Do you want this guy? If you don't want this guy, then I don't want you.
That's
where I'm at.
One thing that I
But
always
the owners
one thing,
usually let the GMs make those decisions.
right.
You hire
The one thing I always say, every young regime that you look around the league over the last 10 years or so, every last one of them at some point are going to say, I want my guy. It may not be year one, it may not be year two, but at some point, they're going to find themselves at a certain crossroad and they're going to say, I want my guy at quarterback, whether that means getting a guy in the draft or trading everything to go get a certain quarterback you want. We just saw Sean McVay, who walked in on that had that situation with Goff, and eventually he got to a point, you know what? Goff ain't good enough. So he got rid of Goff and went out of his way to get one guy literally for 1 year to win a ring.
I feel like we don't know if Fields is good enough yet. The hand that he's been dealt, he has had to make up for what they've lacked the whole time. Whether it's been coaching, whether it's been no weapons, whether it's been no running game, he has to have been the answer. So I don't feel like they have exhausted all of the options with him, the routes with him.
But I think the one thing that when you get, and this is just a GM perspective, I think the one thing is once you get your guy, it gives you more time to solidify that you're the man for the job for that GM.
But my thing is, this GM, my question is, how did he get hired? Did he go into that conversation and say, yep, I want this job and I want to rock with?
I don't think he did. I definitely don't think it was that way. I definitely don't think it was right. I think it was that you're in the front office of the hottest team in the league right now. At least sound coherent and that you're good enough for this job and it's yours. Not to say he wasn't a candidate, but the fact that he was over in Kansas City and all you have to do is talk a good game. You don't even have to say anything about, I want to build around Justin Fields. All you have to say is, I want to come in here with a plan to put this team at this point in 3 years.
Yeah, honestly, like I don't think it's so like clear cut that guys will be like, yes, like I'm gonna do this with this guy.
Yep.
I'm gonna do this with that guy.
Yep.
I don't think that's how it always goes
because
at the end of the day, like we've seen how some people get jobs.
Yep.
It's not like they built this whole presentation of exactly how they're gonna do each and everything. It's more of a hey, like because I can convince you that I'm good enough.
Because my thing is you're hitching your wagon to one guy that you don't even know before you even get the job. You're walking in and saying, I'm hitching my entire future to Justin Fields. I haven't even shaken his hand yet.
I don't think that it would be his entire future, though. It would be a situation where you come in and if the quarterback doesn't amount to what the expectation is, the quarterback will be the scapegoat before that GM approach.
Well, yeah, but we're speaking on in the situation
particular situation for sure. Justin Fields would be gone before the new coach.
I'm speaking on in the situation that Ryan Poles walked in and said, "I want to build around Justin Fields."
Well, because
that owner already thinks Justin Fields is the future.
Well, here's the kicker: if Justin Fields, if they stick with Fields and somehow, some way it doesn't work, but the person who drafted Caleb Williams is having a good season, he's fired.
That's a good point.
He's fired. Like, no questions asked. He's fired. Because they could be like, we could have had that guy.
Yep. That's kind of sort of.
Would that be on the coach or on the GM, though?
It's on both.
It's on both.
And the only difference would be if you hired a new head coach already, you're not going to usually fire him after year one. You're going to fire the GM because he was the one that picks the person.
You know what's funny? That's kind of sort of what Carolina's going through right now. Because there's already questions on did they make the right choice?
Even though Bryce isn't having a terrible season as a rookie,
but the fact that Stroud
is
playing to an MVP conversation,
Bryce Young and the Panthers' decision look questionable.
Yep.
So that's going to be the case with the Bears.
There's some context for Bryce though.
No, it is. It is.
Yeah. But you're right. The optics.
The optics would be super crazy.
Xavier wanted to ask the group this question. He said, if the Bears can get another haul like they got from the Panthers last year, do you still move Fields?
They can get a haul for one of those picks.
Like for the first pick. So essentially.
No. Do you move Fields if a team in return is giving you a haul for Fields.
What do y'all consider a haul?
Yeah, because it's definitely not going to be a first or second.
If it's a team desperate enough, it'll be a
first.
first or second.
No.
I would consider it.
A team was
Because-
a Bears team was desperate. Oh, a
Bears.
Panthers team was desperate enough to trade from 9-1
because they wasn't sure who was going to trade up for that pick.
Exactly.
But you're not trading up for a pick. You're trading for Justin Fields.
It's a team desperate enough to make them. They made that move without even knowing who the hell they were going to pick.
When the Panthers traded for Sam Darnold, did they give up a 1? They did not. Gave up a 2 at best.
They already
Justin Fields has looked better
because they were right.
Has he?
Absolutely. He rushed for 1,000 yards last year.
He did, and he actually threw for more touchdowns and interceptions last year as well. But the injury concern, people say, well, he's been injured.
It's just his finger.
You know how people are. Oh, well, if he's injured this time, it's gonna be.
No, he was injured last year too.
It's harder to boo boo on the
he had
finger.
he had a shoulder issue last year
or ankle.
Yeah, I mean,
like
I said,
teams. I mean,
it won't be a haul, but I could see at best it would be like a 2nd and a 5th, or like a 3rd and a 4th, or something like that. But it would never be.
That's what it should be. But I can
never
also see a team get so desperate enough. They're like,
there are no teams desperate enough for a first because those teams are already in good draft position.
Teams desperate enough for a quarterback.
They're already in good draft position.
Not
for a
necessarily.
I would say I think the Bucs would be a good.
No, Baker Mayfield has played well with the Bucs.
But what if they don't want? But what if they don't want Baker?
I think Fields would bring you to a higher level.
What if they don't want Baker for the future?
Why wouldn't
he's a bridge quarterback?
Do you want Baker for the future?
If I'm the Bucs, if I don't have to give up assets,
if you said the same thing as me, yeah.
No, because you don't have to give up assets for one. For two, you can build around him.
Who?
What do you mean who? Baker?
Baker's not a.
Let me ask you a question. If you have the 49ers, somebody like that, where you don't whip your neck like you. I'm not speaking in your spirit, nothing. That's not your team. You don't claim them. Okay. If we speak it on the 49ers and what they got going on, all the boxes they check, you throw Baker into that situation, you think he can go win you a Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
Bro, they was talking like Jimmy G could have won them a Super Bowl. Why would I not believe with the pieces that they have, Baker Mayfield couldn't win it if Brock Purdy's doing it?
So you're saying essentially a top 20, 23 quarterback could win a Super Bowl with the 49ers? What you're saying?
Yeah, top 20 quarterback for sure.
We
have said this, that they have the weapons. That the quarterback is not going to be the guy that makes them.
The thing is, Jimmy G was he had his moment, his opportunity, and blew it.
Given what the Raiders are,
yeah, he could.
And the structure that the Raiders have, could we not see the Raiders make a move for a veteran quarterback and saying, "Hey, we're gonna." Because you have
he's not a veteran quarterback.
Okay, a
young quarterback that you can actually build around instead of because you got Devontae. If Devontae ain't going nowhere, if Jacobs ain't going nowhere, if Max Crosby ain't going nowhere, if a number of these guys that are just veteran guys that are ready to win right now,
you in the league for 6 years, you a vet.
He's not in the league for 6 years.
He's
I'm
talking about Raiders going for Fields.
Fields isn't a vet. No.
Yes.
He's not, but but instead of them going to draft a rookie quarterback and put yourself in a situation like what Carolina did, you see what I'm saying? And the Raiders are like, hey, we need to win now. Devontae's ready to win now.
So Baker Mayfield is top 15 in passing yards.
I don't care.
He is. Hold on. He's top 15 in passing touchdowns. But at some point, you got to feel like he can still be a guy as long as you.
What kind of guy?
A guy that they can make the playoffs.
He's a bridge quarterback. Talk about him the same way you would talk about Tyrod Taylor.
But
that's all they are.
He's played better than Tyrod Taylor.
Has he?
I think he has.
He's got thrown for more touchdowns than Tyrod Taylor has.
Are you talking about this year? Or you're talking about with the Bills?
That's what I'm saying.
Talking about with the Bills. When he was there, I'm
Baker
like,
take more
risks. I'm talking about Baker Mayfield this year have a better season than Tyrod Taylor has had. You can book it. You can book it.
Baker has had a solid.
He has 14 touchdowns, 5 picks. It's pretty good for right now. The highest touchdowns is 19. So he's only 5 off the lead.
This mindset is why teams don't go nowhere and they're stuck in limbo. You can build around this guy, right? He's a bridge. Let him go. I don't care if he was a first round pick in the top. He's had plenty of chances to prove He's not a bridge. He's a bridge. And we shall walk over it.
That's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Wow.
Baker is.
He's been solid. Like, it's not like
They got 4 games with 18 points or less, and then 5 games with 20 or more. 2 of them are 20 on the dot. So it's 5 games with 20 or less.
But you gotta think, they have no run game. It's just passing.
For sure. I
So
understand that, which means they're gonna be throwing the
so
ball
they're a
more.
one-dimensional. They're a one-dimensional team.
So say you give Baker a run game and
No,
Baker,
like they could do better because did he not?
I
Was
feel
that
like
not the case with the Browns?
I feel like I learned.
We
My,
saw this with the Browns. He
Yes,
had
I was just about to
everything.
say.
They won a
I
playoff
believe
and they
in
went
Baker.
to the divisional round. Okay, hold on. So he's gonna say that making it to the divisional round don't matter, right? But the Bills only made it to one AFC championship. So what are we talking about?
Did I say that or did I not? Say
No.
that? I didn't say nothing.
No. So, but what you're saying is you're making it seem like
I don't know.
him making it to a divisional round didn't matter when it's like
I don't
it's
think it
not
was.
always about have you made it to a Super Bowl or not?
Why did they lose in the divisional round?
It's because of Baker.
Because he couldn't beat who?
Henny.
Who was it?
Chad Henne.
The Henny.
They had a great defense that
Oh, Lord Jesus.
Oh my, bro.
that's crazy.
But regardless,
Chris
bro,
Jones and Sorensen.
Hypothetically, if the Patriots don't want to move on from Belichick,
I would cry.
but
Out of laughter?
what I'm saying is,
I would really cry.
but Belichick is like, I also don't want to draft a quarterback.
no, they're drafting a quarterback. They've already. Rob Gronkowski came out and said that the Patriots locker room is 80% against Mac Jones.
I don't give a
80.
but that don't mean they're gonna draft another quarterback. What
Yes,
if
it
what?
does because they're done with Mac Jones.
Why don't they?
He's already benched him.
Why don't they go?
He's already benched him.
and risk losing the locker room?
Why don't they go get Justin Fields?
Nah.
It's the question that
My
I'm
bad. You
asking.
do your
It's
social.
the question that I'm.
because you're putting him in another position.
Why don't they go get Justin
They
Fields?
have no weapons.
Talked at this
They
volume that
have whole
no
no
time.
weapons. You're putting another quarter. Put
Diaphragm.
him in another position
Don't.
to lose.
7:45 p.m.
It doesn't matter what quarterback is in that situation. It can be you. It can be
Yes,
Tom Brady.
but-
It can be Joe Montana.
But if it's Justin Fields, if he goes to another place and loses again, he's not going to be a starter
Marcus,
Who?
did I say that the Patriots would just trade for Fields and say, all right, we done with the rest of the offseason?
anymore. Who do you see them getting?
Bro,
They ain't got no hella cap space like a lot of these other teams.
they have draft capital.
draft capital.
They have
When's the
draft
last time
capital.
they drafted a good player?
So they're never going to. So we're just there.
So what's
the point of moving on from Mac Jones?
Because
Then?
like he just said,
What's the point of moving on from Mac Jones? They
just
can't
said,
draft
actually,
well. They ain't got no money.
Yeah.
What's the point of moving on from Mac Jones? then?
Because you said that they was gonna stay with Bill, right? You said they stay with Bill.
What's the point? Well, what's the point
Are
of
they
moving on from
staying
Mac
with
Jones?
Bill?
I don't
Is
know.
the question.
I don't know.
If the goal is winning,
But that's what you
If the
said.
goal is winning.
Hypothetically, you said, what if they stay with Bill?
So what do they
And
do
they
at
get
quarterback
Justin
then?
Fields.
If they stay with Belichick, what should they do at quarterback?
No, they're gonna draft one.
They ain't good at drafting. You just said that.
Yeah, they're not.
So it's funny. They gonna draft a quarterback, but they ain't gonna
but-
draft nobody around.
But the
Okay.
difference
So-
is if they draft a quarterback, they actually have time with that quarterback. Bro, Fields, if he doesn't get it done in his next stop within a year, I don't think he's gonna be a starter anymore. So then you have to draft someone else, anyways.
the
Even
NFL
if you
do be
draft a
impatient
quarterback,
like
you're
that.
still gonna have
Like you
to go
can say
get
with a
playmakers.
rookie, you can say with a rookie that you can build with a rookie. You have time. Justin Fields does not have time.
So you
I feel like with the
Because you have to
Patriots,
pay him.
he would have a little more time.
You
since
have to
his-
pay him.
a little bit.
So then what are you gonna pay him?
you ain't gotta pay him big
A little bit.
money
You don't have
because
to pay
his
him big
market
money.
ain't gonna call for that.
He's not gonna get more than Daniel Jones.
Like I said,
Exactly.
he's not going to be a starter because if you got to pay him starter money, it's not going to be.
It don't matter. Even if you bring in that rookie
It's not gonna
quarterback
be a
next year,
thing.
you still gonna have to bring
You
in
don't
weapons.
pay him.
The Patriots have the same issues
Like-
in terms of offense that the Bears do. They,
Except for the Bears have DJ Moore, a good wide receiver.
a good wide receiver.
But the thing is, it's like once you have to pay a guy, it moves the needle.
And Xavier beat me to it because I went after you said that, Baker are going to be better than Tyrod Taylor. I had to go look.
Yeah,
Go look it up.
look it up.
Josh Allen had over 3,000 yards rushing, passing, which is where Baker's about to be, just about 3,000 yards passing,
Yeah.
is where he will. That's where
He'll
he's
look good.
Projection.
Yes.
Wait, Baker's.
He ain't going. He only has two. He barely has over 2,000 right now. So
Bro,
he will get maybe over 3,000.
Nah, he's gonna definitely.
And
But okay,
It'll be like
Josh had-
It'll be like
3,200.
3,500.
No,
Josh
it's
had.
not gonna be that much.
Sorry,
Yes, it
Tyrod
will.
had.
He has.
Dang,
yes.
you just like that.
My bad. He has 8 more games to play. He's gonna get over that. Anyways, go ahead.
20 touchdowns passing, 6 interceptions, not including his rushing touchdowns
Mm-hmm.
or his rushing yards.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, even if he has, he would have to. He'd have to be like in the fourth. He'd have to be close to 4,000 yards to tell me he's better because he doesn't offer anything in the run game and he doesn't have.
How many rushing yards does Tyrod Taylor have? Like 300? Make it seem like that man was Michael Vick out there. Bro, like,
He can maneuver though.
yeah, he can maneuver, but
He had
300
6 TDs, so he had 26 and 6,
raw yards.
568.
Okay, 500. So
Okay,
Baker's gonna have probably about 3,500, about 3,500 passing yards at the least.
So you got him getting another 1,500 yards.
Yeah, they have
Basically.
8 more games to play. They've
It's
only played
8
half the
games.
season.
So in 1,400 in 8 more games.
That's
what it's gonna need
that's
to
the
throw.
least. That's the least that I think he's gonna do.
Okay.
So
And then
That's
how many
less than 200 a
touchdowns?
game. He should get 200 a game.
yeah, about 12.
12 what? 12 more?
12 touchdowns. Yeah.
12 more touchdowns.
Yes. Bro, he has 8 games to play. Like, we're making it seem like they're already at 11 games. He's
So
only
that
played
would,
9.
That would
You're
put him
saying-
at 22.
How so?
I'm. Oh, sorry. You said 12. Sorry.
I said
thought you
12,
8.
and he has
I heard
14.
the number 8.
That's how I'm like,
I was
bro,
like,
I
you said
said,
for
my
22.
math ain't.
So you're saying he's gonna have 26. So you're basically amounting almost to Tyrod Taylor. You're almost there.
He's a little better.
That's crazy.
He's got a little better.
He needs to go, bro.
He's
That's
have a
not
little
gonna
better.
cut it.
He's gonna have a little better.
That's not gonna cut it.
This
Anyway,
man
let
is-
me go ahead and talk about my state.
He's gonna throw for 4,000.
Oh yeah, we haven't even.
Yeah,
4,000.
Yeah.
Oh, so that's where you going. Now you
4,000.
you
Getting no 4,000.
4,000.
All right.
What's up?
you upping your price, not gonna make
So-
Baker no better.
Who's your state of franchise?
My state of the franchise.
Oh hell, we still on the franchise. That's crazy. I didn't even know we hadn't got yours.
No, y'all were really going in on Fields.
Fields and Baker.
And
Who would have thought?
Fields and Baker. Wow.
Well,
All
that's
right.
crazy. Who we talking about?
So we go. Xavier was asking about it. He wasn't on the show when I talked about it before. We're gonna get into it now.
Oh lord.
Go ahead. Go ahead. We're gonna talk about these bills. You want
Oh.
you want to know my opinions?
What a big
We
violin
gonna,
there.
we gonna get into the state of the franchise.
What's the state, man?
This is the state.
It ain't good.
They
Mm.
cannot lose any more AFC games.
Mm-mm.
They can lose one more game,
Whoops.
but it has to be in the NFC.
Whoops.
Lose to the Eagles.
It has to be
They're gonna
in
lose.
the NFC.
They gonna
If
lose.
they lose,
They gonna lose.
because if right now they're at so right now the best record they could have is 12-5
They
right
gonna
now.
lose
Right?
one.
Okay,
They gonna
so
lose one.
they can. So never mind. They can lose
They gonna lose one.
2 more games as long as it's not in the AFC.
One of them gonna be AFC. I promise.
Because at worst, if they go to 10-7,
You wish for it.
they're screwed. If they go to 10-7, they're screwed because they're not going to win the tiebreakers because they keep on losing AFC games, so they can't do that. As far as
them Texans really got
Can-
people in a chokehold on these times.
sir, anyways,
But the disrespect.
I'm telling you,
disrespect.
I let them talk all the time.
all the time.
It was
All right.
necessary. It was time to sign the. My bad. Go ahead.
So
You're right.
Joe Brady coming in has a national championship as an OC. He went to right?
Went to the Panthers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Co-OC.
Okay, sure. I didn't know that detail, but sure.
Hey,
Whatever.
Joe Burrow credits him.
Yeah, Joe, I don't know what you want me to tell you. That's the reason
He
I
was
thought
more.
that.
He was more the QB. They
Oh.
both had a tag, but he was more the QB coach.
So, and he was a wide receivers coach as well. So
Yes.
I'm interested to see what that looks like. it really starts with this week. They have to go in and they have to handle the Jets. If they lose to the Jets, I'm looking at the draft. I'm there. I was partially there already this week, looking at talking with these boys. I was like, all right, look, if we bad enough, do you think we can get a top 10 pick? And if we land in the top 10, can we get Marvin?
Boy,
because that was where my brain
It ain't
went.
happening.
Ain't no way. Ain't no way. Hell.
Ain't no way Marvin
You don't let you down.
He ain't dropping below 5.
Right
So now here's my thing with Xavier. He's saying that the Bills need a head coaching change. Here's my stance.
I ain't gonna say that.
When it comes to head coaching
That's
changes.
disgusting, by the way.
It is
You
because
on the mic again?
Yes, I am.
Xavier, Sean McDermott, I feel like right now he's stretched a little too thin. This is the most undisciplined, most sloppy I have seen this regime, this entire team since he took over. And a part of me wonders if it's because he is now the DC. And he's no longer looking over the offense like he used to before because he's got to focus.
Right.
So now that makes me wonder, okay, maybe we need to get somebody else to come and play DC so he can start looking over both again and be the CEO. Because clearly everything that he's doing with all the injuries on that defense and still the defense is playing well enough for them to win.
Right.
But that offense is ugly. And I'm hoping Joe can do something about that. I don't want to let go of a winning head coach. Like he's a winning head coach. I know he hasn't won a Super Bowl, but if you look at his win rate, like the only losing record he's had was Josh Allen's rookie year. Besides that, it was
who was the head coach before him?
Rex.
Rex Ryan.
Exactly. You see what I'm saying? Who was it before him? Chan Gailey. I don't know. Dick Duran. I don't know. You see what I'm saying? Like they have a winning head coach.
JP Lawson.
That's disgusting. Those days are ugly.
CJ Spiller.
Ugly.
Fred Jackson.
I like CJ Spiller.
Woof.
Those were
they're good guys.
Woof.
Marshawn.
Oh yeah, Marshawn.
WOOF.
Were there together.
Woof.
Damn.
All right.
Woof.
Yeah, that's why Marshawn got traded.
Right.
And they still ain't win no game.
Because Marshawn wasn't happy being with Fred and CJ.
And they still ain't
Are
win
you
no
speaking
game.
to bats? Why are you speaking so low? What we doing? I guess bats on the other.
Right, he's just on his own little world. Right
My
now.
science was off.
Thank
But
you.
anyways, keep it going. Keep it going with your Bills.
I corrected myself. I'm not a what's the animalologist? I almost said botanist. But I think that's a
Zoologist.
Okay.
Zoologist. Thank you.
So
I'm not a zooey.
Xavier's response to me, McDermott is sorry for you. This ain't got nothing to do with you. McDermott is the Bills' version of Dan Quinn, in my opinion.
Woo!
The Bills won't have a
Jeez.
Falcons
Christ.
like fall
Ain't
off.
no way you were validating his
Woof.
switch in fandom. That's crazy.
Won't have a Falcons
Man,
like fall
what
off.
does
You
that
but
do
I
with
feel-
me?
You're
This
not
ain't
getting
got
away
nothing to
with
do with
this.
me.
But I feel he's losing the locker room. So
Nah.
I don't think he's losing the locker
Yeah,
room.
I don't. My bad.
No, I don't feel he's losing the locker
But I don't think that, like, I feel like it's too rash when people say you fire a head coach after one subpar season when they've had a record of being good. It just makes no sense because it's hard to find good head coaches in
It
the
really
NFL and good head coaches in any type of professional sport.
It really
So
is.
it's like to get rid of one so easily, not knowing that you can replace them with someone as good or better, to me is ludicrous.
The
The
floor's been
only-
relatively high with McDermott as y'all's coach too.
Right. Again, I mean, they were 6-10, but besides that, it was 9-7.
Yeah, 9-7.
9-7 because we didn't. It was still 16 games, so 9-7 his first year, 6-10, 10-6, and on to 13.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just of the mindset, like you just said, that. Plus, I've seen him do a lot with a little with this defense. Like the defense keeps on going, so I don't want to lose somebody who is able to make lemons out of oranges. You know what I'm saying?
And it's like it's not like guys.
Exactly.
Usually,
That's
like,
the point.
Guys usually don't win.
You don't get to make up
Super
your own
Bowls.
phrases. Ain't no way.
Like, think about Andy Reid. Think about how long it took him to win a Super Bowl in the NFL. Like, it's okay for a coach to be good for a long
Yes.
time to try and be great with better personnel.
And they moved on. They moved on to him and went with who?
It wasn't
Chip
Peterson,
Kelly.
right?
Chip
Maybe
Kelly.
been Chip.
It was
May have
Chip
been
Kelly.
Chip.
And that plane fell from the sky
Fell.
Yep.
very quickly.
Exactly. And he went on to have
And,
good success with the
Right.
Chiefs.
And the Eagles fans were like, damn,
Yeah.
we miss Andy.
And then they got Doug Peterson ended up working out for that one,
It's hard.
one run, but
There's Mike
they ended up
Tomlin.
getting rid of him. So
There aren't a bunch of Mike Tomlins left. And I say that because he's the only coach that I have seen who
like
wins
throughout my whole
every year.
lifetime,
Throughout
I'm
the
just
whole-
like,
there's a dip somewhere in everybody's career. So
I mean, the Packers moving on from McCarthy
yeah.
to get Matt LaFleur.
But I think that was more of
LaFleur?
Aaron Rodgers was tired.
Yeah,
of him.
but it's one of those situations where the grass is not always greener on the other side. If you get to a certain point where you're just tired of consistent winning, because that's at least what it is, especially for McCarthy and what it was for Andy Reid in Philly. You're winning, you're just not winning enough.
You're not winning that Super
but you're
Bowl.
still consistently winning.
right.
And I feel like
You're always in the playoff picture.
yeah, you're always in a playoff picture. Teams will love that.
I mean, honestly, that's kind of like, you think of Marvin Lewis, with the Bengals. He was the most consistent coach that the Bengals ever had in terms of, hey, like we're never going to be good every year, but we're going to have our years where we make playoffs and try and make a run.
Yeah.
Obviously, like they went with Zach Taylor and they got Joe Burrow, and that was kind of the game changer, but he at least had them consistent for a long time.
So what questions are facing the Bills?
So if we're talking in season, it's really just it's up. Joe's got 7 games. Joe Burrow's got 7 games to show what he's got, and if he's got the goods and he can turn it around, then bet. If not, then in the offseason, for me, the outlook is finding a new OC, maybe contemplating on getting another DC to take the weight off of Sean McDermott's shoulders.
So
Gotta
McDermott would just have no responsibility, just head coach.
Head coach. That because
back to
he did talk about in the preseason where he was unsure of how it would be for him to have to coach
To jump back into that ring, yeah.
because it's like as a head coach, his responsibilities is he able to play both roles.
So, or if he wants to go ahead and have conversations with the likes of Bill Belichick and those type of coaches who are GMs and play this role or who call the defense, like who play multiple roles, and be like and get some wisdom out of people to see how he can better himself at it, then I'm fine with something like that as well. But
those guys still have a DC and OC.
I think
they just call the plays.
I think we're overrating that as well, man. That whole head coach and GM thing, because that works out.
It doesn't work.
It doesn't work out more than it actually does.
Yeah,
I don't think.
But the best way that those work out is when the head coach and the GM are on the same wave, and they're able to be like, "Hey, like we both want this guy. We both want to be able to do this," and they're like that communication part is the driving force, and they actually pick the right players. Like
also, Gabe Davis got to go. They need to find another wide receiver.
So the players aren't the issue with the Bills, is what you're saying. The personnel on the
you
Bills,
heard me just like I just said.
Outside of
Gabe
Gabe.
Davis got to go.
Oh, okay. So you still looking for your wide receiver?
I'm looking for another playmaker to go beside Diggs, and then I'm looking at the defense, and I'm trying to get younger at certain positions.
It ain't gonna be Marvin, bro.
All right, I'll go one of the Washington wide receivers. Just get me a playmaker.
If you get Marvin, do you get rid of Stephon?
Don't do that. Don't do that.
No,
because they're not getting Marvin.
I'm thinking,
But no,
if y'all trade,
I'm looking to have a Higgins Chase type field. You see what I'm saying? So give me Marvin and Diggs.
they're a little different.
Well, yes, but you know,
I know what you mean.
You
You want
what I'm,
You
what I'm
ain't
saying.
getting Marvin.
But
He can dream.
I just want.
That's all.
But anyway, hold on. Let me wrap this up. So I want a playmaker on the defensive side. If they want to get younger at safety, I think they're good at corner at this point because they have Rasul Douglas, and then they have Tre'Davious, and then they have if they re-sign Dane Jackson, Christian Benford, and Kyrie Elam. I think they're good.
I thought he was gonna leave Kyrie.
No, I think they should be good there. So safety, linebackers, they're straight.
You want to get younger on the defensive.
So D-line, I guess, and safety are the only or what need to be addressed on the defense. And then
I got Taylor Rock.
Yeah, but I have 2 safeties, so I need another one.
Same thing as your fantasy football.
I need
He
someone
stingy
to
with his
take.
running backs. 2 isn't enough running backs.
And then on the I'm actually okay with the O-line. I'm actually okay with where it is and seeing what it can
Osiris
do.
is like that.
Yeah, so
You good at running back?
What about Spencer? What about? I thought you was replacing Spencer when that part of the plan.
Spencer's been playing better and better throughout the season. So I'm gonna let him continue to grow. So I'll leave that alone. So I would just want a wide receiver and then go ahead and do that. But before
I was gonna say we good with Latavius and then Cook and stuff.
I mean, that's my leader.
Man, ain't nobody listening to Latavius Murray, man. Man, go ahead.
You gotta have a leader in the locker room.
Like some Udonis Haslam perspective.
Stop it.
He could do that.
Stop it.
They may get
a touchdown.
They may go ahead. I wouldn't be if they spent a third rounder on a running back. I wouldn't have an issue with that. Because they will have a third rounder still.
I got some.
Do y'all not have all y'all's picks this year?
Few names.
We traded a third for Russell Douglas, but we also are getting a complimentary. Is that what
compilation?
No,
it is complimentary.
Compensatory third round pick for losing Tremaine.
Got a couple of names you may like. We'll get into that later.
But yeah, so before this game kicks off, let's talk about the state of the franchise of the Bengals because to me,
it's a must win.
They can't lose this game.
It's a must win.
They cannot.
This is a must
get swept by the Ravens.
They cannot.
And lose this game.
They cannot. And I'm nervous.
They're not gonna have tiebreakers if they're 10-7. 10-7 won't get you in.
This is my Super Bowl pick for the AFC, and it feels like their season is on the line tonight, and they're not even at full strength, and I'm scared. I'm gonna pick the Bengals, but I'm a little nervous.
What happened to your God?
I'm a little nervous.
Don't be nervous. It's okay.
I'm a little nervous.
Oxygen is your friend.
Relax.
Real quick, just because I'm not a college guy, Xavier, so forgive me on that. But I'm gonna toss this to them.
Yeah, I don't know what his problem is with that.
Now I don't know if this is Malik or Malik Neighbors.
Malik Neighbors, yeah, from LSU.
Yeah.
Whom is this man?
That'd be someone who.
Nah, he's good.
He'll be someone who y'all consider.
He's the one who's got to the. He said he should go to the.
He has some big similarities.
Honestly, he leads the NCAA in receiving yards right now.
That's who he says to the Bills.
He's the best. He's the best receiver in the SEC at least.
He is the best receiver in the SEC.
I appreciate that. I'm gonna look into him.
He's
all right. But Bengals,
the Bengals are 1-4 in the AFC
conference.
Yes. Worst record by an AFC team.
Mm-hmm.
They're 4-0 versus NFC. 1-4. 16 points per game versus the AFC. So to your point, about the Bills, it's the same thing. With them.
but to be fair,
for tie-breaking purposes and even just winning their.
I think if they went.
Good. You think if they went. They cannot.
They can lose.
11-6.
11-6 is 11.
Exactly. You're in the same situation as the Bills,
but
you cannot go 10-7.
But that's the thing, though. So I don't think this is a must-win.
It is a must-win
because I don't think the rest of their schedule is daunting.
It's because if they don't win tonight, every game from here on out is a playoff game. Every game from here on out.
They cannot lose another AFC opponent.
Yes,
it's the same situation. They can lose to an NFC team. You cannot lose to another.
They only play one more NFC team, and it's
but I'm saying you can't. If you lose this game, then yes, you can't lose to another AFC team after this. But they can lose another game.
You think they can go 1-5 in a conference?
If they're 11-6, they're gonna still make it because there's gonna be teams that are 10-7 that they're just gonna be over.
He just said they only have one more NFC team.
In order for that to happen,
who cares?
So if the Bengals lose this game. They played the Steelers.
Because we know
twice.
3 of their losses were when Joe Burrow was injured, and that was against AFC.
So you got them sweeping the Steelers?
Yes. They have to sweep the Steelers. They got the Browns left. They got the Chiefs left.
Yep.
They have the Jaguars on the road.
If they lose this game, and they still have the Chiefs left.
Yeah, the Chiefs is in week 18.
And the Jags?
Week 17.
You taking them over the
Yeah, of course. Bro, the Jags showed me they ain't for real. When they got blasted by the 49ers, not to say they can't win a playoff game, But I think the Bengals are at a better spot than them.
They're gonna play the Vikings with Justin Jefferson. Knock on wood back.
Yeah.
Xavier got the Ravens taking this. He got them sweet.
Yeah, I got the Ravens. I got the Ravens winning this too.
I'm nervous.
But I think that at the end of the day, like the Bengals can be a team that reels off 6 out of 7 games.
God
It's just gonna be
damn,
on-
that's a lot to ask for.
It's gonna
They
be,
won 8 straight
it's-
last year.
It's gonna have to be
That's
on their
last
offense.
year.
Their
Yeah.
pass rush not gonna be the same. They don't
But-
have Hubbard. How long?
But
Hubbard's gonna be out
that's
for?
the thing though. I think that they
And T's nursing hamstring injury.
look.
That's
this
never-
Is gonna be with the Bengals. They're rushing up guys this week. You have 10 days into the next game, so then they can go on this long run. They weren't going to risk playing Higgins, playing Hubbard, and all of a sudden they get injured down the stretch. They'd rather have them out for this one and prepare for the next 7 games rather than try and get those guys back.
So essentially, you saying that the Bengals are what, top 2 team in the AFC?
They're gonna have to be to win out.
Top 2 in the AFC?
Top 2?
No,
Top 3?
the top 4.
Who are your top 3 then?
Who
Ravens, Chiefs, and Ravens, Chiefs.
stuck on
Are
that
you about to
third?
say Dolphins?
Yeah,
Stuck
Dolphins
on that
are a wild one. But honestly, at this point,
Are you gonna say the Texans?
Yeah, he
nah, I'd say Dolphins over Texans.
Well, anyway,
This is the first year without Brady, right?
Yes.
No.
This
Yeah.
is the
Actually,
first year
yes,
without
yeah.
Brady.
Yeah,
It
it
feels
is.
like year 2 for me, but I'm just.
That's because he retired, but then he came back. So
It was a
Okay.
weird
but yeah,
swan
remember,
song
they
for
lost to
him.
the Cowboys.
so
last
I'm taking the Bengals tonight. You riding with the Ravens?
year.
Ravens.
I got the
Taking the
Ravens
Ravens.
as well.
Wow.
I feel as though
The lone wolf, huh?
this
All right.
Hey, man.
you can hold it down. The Ravens gonna get the running
Alright.
game going. That's really what's gonna be the
Oh.
Yeah, I think without Hubbard and Hendrickson, it's going to be tough for them to stop the
You
run.
could go and in the pass protection, you could double Henderson the whole game.
Joe,
Do whatever.
Jamar,
You breathe on the mic.
other Joe.
Bro, Mans is in
I
love.
can't
with
wait till
Mike.
we get 4 mics so we
Oh,
don't have
man.
these problems.
We really won't.
I really went out on a limb to pick you
But,
guys
all
as
right,
the
let's go
AFC
ahead and,
representative.
wrap this up. All right, y'all.
And my Super Bowl pick is on the line tonight. It
He's
is
Cordell.
on
I'm Marcus.
the line
This is
tonight.
D-Rob, and this is
Deuce, baby.
Deuce. Hey,
It's
look, we
on
outta
the
here,
line.
man. I'm out.
It's on the line. Do something, Joey.
I feel as though
Xavier, thanks for kicking it with us.
we should have had a punishment for when we had wrong Super Bowls.